Hey guys, what's up? It is me again. So today what I wanted to show you was how I set up my first person rig. So let's hop into my blueprint and let's get started right away. So I just have my basic mesh here, just a third person character with a camera attached to the head with in the character. I use the controller rotation jaw. So what that basically does is it sets the camera rotation, because it has a mouse look. It sets that to a oh, I am so sorry, I'll just quiet that down. It basically uses the rotation of the mouse look camera as the rotation of the entire mesh. Alright. Then let's get into the blueprints. So then we have the update weapon script, which basically just plays a montage on the upper body section. So what I've done is let's open up the race, for instance, and montage. It has default group upper body. So what that does, I will get into that later. So we'll just spawn the actor and play another montage, but important is that we now have the weapon reference and we attach it to the weapon component, and the weapon component is attached to the hand, and we set it to the local transform of the weapon reference. That's a variable, so you can set the location just how you want, and it can be different per weapon. Right, we'll set a relative transform to that, and we'll attach the weapon ref as a child of the weapon component, and then we'll just play down the animation for effect. So when we switch, it will just lower and then raise again later. Alright. Then let's go to the end name blueprint. So this is where the interesting things happen. So this is just a footstep system. I'll maybe get into that later if you want. But let's get into the important things. So I'll just set the delta time X. I always like to do this so I don't have to mess up my blueprints later. Because if you want to interpolate anything, you'll need delta time X. And we'll get the player character and cast, of course, and we'll set it to character reference to make it all nice and neat. We'll also get the velocity, the vector length XY, and then we'll set the speed. The direction is calculated by using character reference, getting the velocity and the rotation, and then we can use the calculate direction function. We can set the aim, so that's basically where we are looking, by getting the character reference, getting the control rotation, getting the actor rotation, and getting a delta rotator from that. And then the pitch will be our aim, and we will put it into the jaw. So the only other thing we'll have to do is set the blend space for the upper body. So we'll have the character reference and we'll get the weapon reference. If that is valid, it'll select the blend space from the weapon reference. If it is not valid, you can put a standard blend space or a walk blend space, but that just basically means that the weapon reference doesn't always have to be active, and you can have unarmed sections, for instance, or where you don't have a weapon, or if all your weapon is if all your weapons are empty or something, you can just change to walking animation, something like that. I just added it to be sure. Alright, that's basically all we do in the event graph. This is all the important stuff. I can do it. So basically I use animation notifies for the footstep sound. Yeah, just let me know if you want me to do a quick overview of that later. So let's get into the animation graph. So all I really do is, this really isn't all that hard. I just get the direction and the speed. So those are the values we've set in the event graph, and I put them into the blend space jog and set that as the base pose, and have a layered blend per bone from spine 01 and up. So this is everything below Spino 1, and this is everything above Spino 1. I think Spino 1, yeah, Spino 1 is still a part of base pose, I think. Well, then we'll just basically invert aim by subtracting aim from 0. Then we'll get another blend space layer, but we'll get the BS upper body. I can't really have the Y. I just had that because you can add, if you have more complex blend spaces, you can just remove it. You really only need the X, because X is your first value, and your first value should always be speed. So if I go into one of these, really simple, just 2 values. You can, for instance, add a sprint at the end, and then just have the walking animation somewhere here in the middle, and sprint all the way there. I just did it, but you can do it. Just I don't think it fits the game. Alright, and here we get the slot upper body where I was talking about. So slot upper body basically means everything in the default or in the group of upper body, every montage, because that's where slots are for, are going to be played from the slot upper body. Then we'll do a local to component, because we needed to transform or modify our bone. And as I said, aim should be going into the Z value. I don't know why. I honestly don't. I tried to do it right and just adding it into the pitch, but well, this worked. So I basically just transformed the bone instead of a aim space that's often used. An aim space is awesome, and you can add more things to it. I just didn't need such a thing for my project. Like, you can use namespace to add things like weapon sway, make it all a bit smoother to look at, but I didn't think I need it. So basically all I've done is I've made it go up and down and rotate with the character, so it didn't really require anything for that. So we'll just add those two in the layer plan per bone, and we'll get our final animation pose. And basically what it means is these are, for instance, this is what the groups do. When I'm switching and it's playing an animation, my legs still work. Whether I'm faulting, my legs still work. The legs will always work, and the animation notifiers are linked to the legs. So you don't have to add an animation notifiers for things like for extra things. So when you have your weapon, you have multiple weapons and you have multiple walk animations, you don't have to add any other notifiers if you want footsteps. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. This was just a real quick off the cuff video. Just thought I'd show you. I had some questions. If you have any other suggestions, please let me know in the comments, and I'll try to get to them. I've seen my audience grow quite a lot. I think I'm on 250 subscribers now, so thank you all for that. But I have not been active enough, and I am sorry for that. Anyway, thanks guys, and I'll see you on the next one.